Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. This is going to be a guide to the specialized food productions. This is quite an overwhelming pack, I think, for some people, and so I'm going to try to simplify this as simple as possible for you guys, and we'll even talk a little bit about the profitability towards the end. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. This is going to be very similar to all my other production videos and things like that. I would recommend having a basic knowledge of how productions work before you watch this video. But the Specialized Food Productions is a mod. It is available for all platforms. It is on the Mod Hub, so you can download it on the in-game Mod Hub. It is by Mont, and it is 11.12 megabytes to download. Now, essentially, this adds 3 new factories, which you can see 1, 2, and 3. And those 3 new factories add 22 new recipes and 6 new products. I kind of like that because there's like different ways to get to the same 6 products, so it doesn't add you like so many different products that you kind of seems overwhelming. It adds 6 new things, which is kind of nice, and then it also gives you just different ways to make them, so you can kind of do, depending on what your farm's got going on, you can make it work for you. Yeah, so placing all of these, if I go into the menu here, we'll talk about, of course, go to productions or factories, go down to the very bottom. You have the specialized bakery, which allows you to make croissants. You can also make bread still with this as well. But then you can make cheesecake, and then I guess cake too, so probably only 5 productions, maybe. I might have counted too many there. So it might only be 5 new productions, actually, I think. It says a specialized bakery adds, that's just specifically the bakery I was trying to read over there. But yeah, $150,000, you can place it wherever you need to. You can rotate it freely. $180,000 for the specialized pizzeria, which adds pizza as a new product. And then, yeah, this and that. So yeah, only 5 new products. I apologize, because you have 2 here. You have cheesecake and croissants. Here we have pizza, so that's 3. And then this is 4 and 5. We have salad and premium salad, which is nice. And that's this guy right here, which is the specialized salad production, which you can place around. So I have these 3 out there. Now, once they're placed, we're going to talk about what products they're going to take and everything like that. But you kind of have a couple different parts to them. This is where your products are going to spawn. This is where pallets of your products are going to spawn as you produce them. This area where the dump icon is. And if you don't see the dump icon or any of the icons, go into your settings. Go here, go to general settings. Go to settings, and then go from game settings over to general settings. Make sure all of these are turned to on. They'll make it very easy. If I turn the field info, doesn't matter actually, but the main things is interactive zone markers and info trigger. You want those both on so you can see the checkered boxes and the icons. So yeah, this is where we're going to put your inputs in. All of these only take pallets. There's only pallet products that you need to put into these. And then there's a wrench that allows you to access the production menu by coming up to it and hitting R, at least on PC. But we'll talk about that more. For the pizzeria, here's your product spawning zone. Here's your access to the production menu, and I don't believe you can go inside there. And then over here, we have our pallet input right there. Here we have our pallet input on the salad factory, and this is where our pallets are going to spawn. And then we have the wrench icon right there to access the menu. So again, to put pallets in, it's pretty straightforward. I'm just going to put a couple pallets in. Now, I'm using super strength. You may have to use a forklift or whatever, depending on what platform you're on, but you just get it right over there into the pallet zone. Pretty straightforward. Same with this to put pallets in. Easy and easy. Same thing if you have a forklift, just drive them over and drop them in that area if you have a forklift or a front loader or however you're moving them. Same thing over here. Pretty straightforward. And there you go. Yeah, pretty easy to get stuff into it. That's how you're rocking and rolling there and doing all of that different stuff. Now, let's talk about how productions work in general. If I go into the menu, if I go to the specialized bakery, for example, we'll just click over here to products. Let's say I wanted to make bread from flour, which this is just kind of a bulk recipe, it looks like, from the standard in-game recipe. What is the standard one for bread? Grain mill? Not grain mill, sorry, bakery. There's got to be a bakery on this map. Yeah, bread. It's 90 to 45. So it's the same as the standard one, also 120 cycles per month. But yeah, if I go over to own factory, specialized, go over here. It's currently set to storing, which means as you produce bread, they are going to spawn in this pallet area right here until the pallet area is full. And when there's no space, they will slowly fill up in your outgoing products over here. Now, if I change that over to selling, which you'll see everything that makes bread, it all has to go to selling because all of the products have to go to one specific type. So you can't be like, okay, well, the bread made from this recipe, I want to sell. I want this bread to be storing. You can't change that. But if you have it set to selling every hour in game, it's going to sell whatever bread is in your production factory here. And usually you take a little bit of a loss on that. So just be aware, you're not going to get the full price for your bread if you do it that way. You also can do distributing, which means if there's another factory that takes bread, you can set it to distributing and it'll move the bread over to another factory that takes bread, which there's not one that I'm aware of. So if there's no place for it to go every hour, it will just slowly build up here in your outgoing products. But we'll change it back to storing for now. Now over here on the right-hand side, we have all of our incoming materials. Now you can see there's butter, chocolate, eggs, flour, goat cheese, milk bottled, rice flour, strawberries, and sugar. Now, all these are pretty simple products in terms of base game. Strawberries come from greenhouses. The rest of these are from other factories that are in the base game. For example, the sugar would be from the sugar mill, the rice flour and flour would be from the grain mill, the goat cheese, milk bottled, chocolate and butter, I believe. I believe those are all the dairy, and then the eggs are going to come from your chickens. If you have questions about how to make all those products, I have separate videos on all those different productions on the channel. You can check those out. And then obviously we can produce bread, cake, cheesecake, and pastries. Those are our products over here, with cheesecake and pastry being new. Cake and bread are already in the game. Now these recipes for bread and stuff like that might be a little bit different. Like this one also includes butter. So if you wanted to make bread with butter, you can do that and you're getting a little bit more out of it. This is rice flour and butter to make bread. So you're using a little bit less flour. You're getting more bread and you're making, so yeah, or I guess you're using the same amount of flour, sorry, but you're just adding butter on there if you want to. So it gives you a new way to make bread. That's one of the benefits to this mod here. But yeah, again, you can see all your products over here, everything like that. Status is inactive. If I want to activate this, I go over here, click on it, and I hit activate, and it'll light up over here, and it says running over here. I'm going to deactivate it for now, however. And then $60 per month is how much it's going to cost you to run this recipe every month. And then cycles per month, this recipe down here, which is 90 liters of flour to 45 liters of bread, it's going to do this recipe 120 times per month. Same thing with, like, if I go down to this one that has two things going on here, 192 times per month. It's going to use 90 liters of flour, 40 liters of butter to make you 68 liters of bread. So it's going to make quite a bit over the course of that. But you can see for pastries, you can now make pastries with flour, eggs, and butter, or you can make them with rice flour, eggs, and butter. Cheesecake can be made with goat cheese, eggs, and chocolate, or goat cheese, eggs, and sugar, or goat cheese, eggs, chocolate, and butter. You have cake recipes in here for butter, eggs, strawberries, milk bottled, sugar, and flour. I think that's a standard one, and then this is also the standard one with rice flour. Then if we go over to our specialized pizzeria, you can see the inputs for this are buffalo mozzarella, cheese, chili peppers, eggs, flour, garlic, oyster mushrooms, rice flour, and tomatoes. And the only output is pizza. There's just 5 different ways to make it. You can make pizza with rice flour, eggs, tomatoes, and buffalo mozzarella, or you can make it with flour, eggs, tomatoes, and cheese, or rice flour, eggs, tomatoes, and buffalo mozzarella, flour, eggs, tomatoes, buffalo mozzarella, or flour, eggs, tomatoes, cheese, and oyster mushrooms. Oh, sorry, that one also had garlic and chili peppers on it. I didn't scroll down far enough. That one has oyster mushrooms as well, so I missed a couple on there. I apologize. But yeah, then you're making cheese. Pretty straightforward. Over here to the salad production, we have salad and premium salad. Those are the only two outputs. We have buffalo mozzarella, canned peas, goat cheese, lettuce, all the preserved foods, so beetroot, carrots, and parsnips, spinach bags, spring onions, and tomatoes that are available to be used as inputs. Now, you don't have to put all of these in. If you are only, let's go back to the bakery, for example. If you're only going to make bread with this, or maybe you want to make the buttered bread here with this one, you only have to put flour and butter in for this to actually work. Everything else can be empty. You just need flour and butter if you're only using that recipe. So just be aware of that. But down here, we can make salad from spinach bags, spring onions, and canned peas. We can make premium salad from lettuce, tomatoes, and goat cheese. Then we can make regular salad again from lettuce, spring onion, preserved food, beetroot. Then the same thing with, this is spinach bags now. Spinach bag, onions, or spring onions, and preserved food carrots. Then we have lettuce, spring onion, and preserved food parsnips. And the last recipe in here for premium salad is lettuce, tomato, and buffalo mozzarella. So if you wanted to make salad, you can do all that sort of stuff. Easy peasy. Now, there's no sell point included with this, but if you go into here, let's find one of those new products here. I believe that they're just available on there for you to be able to see. The cheesecake actually should be up towards the top here. Cheesecake, there it is. You can see the farmer's market is going to take it. So is Goldcrest Valley and the restaurant. So there should be places on whatever map you're playing on that will take these. If not, if you're trying to find a place to sell these and you can't find one, just download like the Sell Everything container. Is a great mod, and that'll allow you to kind of sell everything and do your thing. But yeah, you can activate as many of these as you want and get them rocking and rolling. We're going to go ahead and make some pallets in here. I'm going to try to test these and see if they are divided or not. What divided means, if I go back in the production factory here, normally, actually a pizzeria is probably the best example of this. Normally, if I activate just this one, okay, it's going to run and it's going to do 2,400 cycles, which is quite a bit of this recipe. Easy peasy. If it's divided, as soon as I activate another one, it's now going to only do half of the cycles for each of these because it's divided by 2. And then if I activate a third one, it'll take the cycles per month and divide them by 3 for all 3 of these, and so on and so forth. If it's undivided, that means that all of them will always run at full force if they're activated. So I'm going to test that on all of these, and we'll see what we kind of come up with. And then we'll talk about profitability here at the end. So I'll see you guys in just a second. All right, so what I can tell you is all of these are divided. all of them are divided, so just be aware of that. But we take a look at our products. Bread, nothing new there. Space Game product. Croissants are in a box. I'm pretty sure most of them are going to be kind of looking like that, but we'll see. This is our cheesecake, which looks a little bit different than the regular cake, so I like that. That's kind of different. I wish they'd change like the bow color, maybe. Like make that bow color a little bit different. That would really kind of help stand them out. And then over here, pizza. Just a kind of boring box there with pizza on the side of it. Which a lot of modded productions are kind of that. And same over here, we have our premium salad, which has a green stripe on it, and the regular salad, which does not. So I like that at least distinction there, but yeah, nothing too crazy there. Let's talk about profitability here, because that's probably what you guys are most curious about. So if I show you this production sheet, which is linked down below in the description, I've kind of been modifying and adding stuff to this as I go. Normally what I do when I have a production mod, I will come in here and I'll put all the different productions out for all the different recipes. However, for this one, there's so many different recipes that require so many different inputs. It would probably take me 3 or 4 hours to add them on here. So I had a better idea, and I'll talk about that in a second. First off, let's go to production other. I need to add that at the bottom here. We know now that, what is the name of this mod here? This is the specialized food production. Yeah. Specialized food production. Oop, did not. There we go. Let's try it now. Specialized food production. We know that this is divided, which means that it will only work one recipe at a time, basically at full force. So yeah. So instead of adding everything on here, I just added this new tab down here, which is the production calculator. So this works for any production. I'm going to teach you quickly how to use it. I may do a different video in the future to kind of talk more in detail about this, but this should help you calculate the profitability for any production, no matter what, which is super helpful. So basically, if you wanted to, you could put building name. Let's say we did, we could put grain mill there, something like that, and product could be, I don't know, or we could do bakery and product could be bread. At input 1, we could put butter. Input 2, we could put, flour for one of our recipes here. Now for the cycles, that's the cycles per month. So take that directly from the profit, type that in here. And then over here, we can put the input amount for input 1 and input 2. That's what's going to go here. And these ones, for the sake of that, would all need to be 0 because there's no inputs for those ones. Otherwise, it'll throw your calculations off. And then if we go over here, input cost, don't touch that. Input amount, or output amount, excuse me, put what you get out of it. So let's say we get 100 liters out of it. That's fine. Put that in there, and we're doing 10 and 10. I know it's not actually accurate, but that's fine. Don't touch the output value. Don't touch the profit per cycle. Don't touch profit per month. Input per month, this is calculated automatically. It'll tell you per how many cycles. So if I do 10 cycles of that, it knows that 10 times 10 is 100 for those. So it's going to calculate that, and it's going to calculate 10 times the output, or cycles times the output to get this. And the monthly cost, you can put that in here. So let's say this takes $100 a month to run. Input that. And then down here, put the sell prices, because it may depend based on your, based on what economy level you're looking for and stuff like that. Now, if you need some help with this, now obviously we don't have anything for those last inputs there. Let's say we sell our bread for, $1,500 a pop. You can see it already has updated some stuff on here. And all these things, if you update them, they will update across this board here. So let's say if you want some help, go to used values. You can look at some different values. These are all for normal economy mode. Some of the modded production stuff is down here and everything like that. So if I wanted to find like a value for, butter, I could find it on here theoretically. It's not an alphabetical order. It's just kind of an order as I've been adding them. Let's see if we can't find one of our... well, there's flour, for example, 1242. So if I go back over here to my production calculator, let's say input 1 is flour. I can put 1242 in there, easy peasy, and it's starting to calculate things out, including the monthly cost. So this thing works really well, and you don't have to use it on just this mod. You can use it with anything and do any sort of thing that you'd like to do, and you can kind of input stuff to figure out what's going on. You can use it as a calculator function for you. So there you go. That's what I got for you guys in terms of that. I haven't tested any of the actual profitability of this because, well, I just don't know. I don't have the time to go plug every single one of these in. Like I kind of mentioned, that'd be too much work. But hopefully now you know how to use this and you know how to calculate the profitability, because my guess is most of you are not going to use every single recipe. So if you're only using like 3 or 4 recipes, well, plug those 3 or 4 recipes in and then you get your answer. So there you go. Anyhow, that's what I got for you guys. If you guys enjoyed, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel and turn your notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.